So the Trump administration has finally let the hammer drop. They are making their move against the last bastion of defense from the radical left. I'm talking about the judicial activist judges who have been thumbing their noses at the rule of law, who are using their power to impede the Trump administration at every turn, regardless of what the law actually says about Trump's actions. They are trying to usurp presidential authority here. And so now we have witnessed the Trump administration beginning to make their move. We have witnessed 2 corrupt judges getting the cuffs placed on them, arrested for gross criminal behavior. First, there was Judge Cano, who was arrested for harboring an illegal alien and allegedly destroying evidence, including smashing a phone. Take a look at this.
So Judge Cano, soon to be former Judge Cano, got his charges were just unsealed. He's charged with obstruction. He admitted post Miranda. He took one of the TDA members' cell phones himself, took it, beat it with a hammer, destroyed it, and then walked the pieces to a city dumpster to dispose of it to protect him. The wife also is charged with destroying evidence. Sandra, not only that, this TDA member, and he had on a necklace that said kill, something about death. He had tattoos all over him. He also had on his cell phone pictures of 2 decapitated victims, victims, decapitated, gruesome photos. And he was sending them out, and whoever he was sending them to was sending back saying, hey, you need to be careful. You shouldn't be sending these. You shouldn't be texting these photos out. Not only that, these 2, the judge and his wife, gave him assault rifles that belonged to their daughter. That's what they're charged with. In the criminal report affidavit, he goes to a shooting range with these assault rifles, with a suppressor, with other known TDA members, and they're shooting. This is the last person that we want in our country, nor will we ever tolerate a judge or anyone else harboring them.
And then there was Judge Dugan, who apparently liked aiding and abetting criminals in her efforts to help them avoid capture by ICE, including in her very own courtroom. Here's another clip of Pam Bondi discussing this.
The judge learns that ICE was outside to get the guy because he had been deported in 2013, came back in our country, commits these crimes, charged with committing these crimes, victims in court. Judge finds out. She goes out in the hallway, screams at the immigration officers. She's furious, visibly shaken, upset, sends them off to talk to the chief judge. She comes back in the courtroom. You're not going to believe this. Takes the defendant and the defense attorney back in her chambers, takes them out a private exit and tells them to leave. While a state prosecutor and victims of domestic violence are sitting in the courtroom.
Wow.
You know, Madam Attorney General, great to have you here, and thanks for coming back on America Report. So we remember these words of Tom Homan, the border czar. This was March 17th, and his message on these judges who apparently are trying to get in the way of this administration's efforts. Listen.
I'm proud to be a part of this administration. We're not stopping. I don't care what the judges think. I don't care what the left thinks. We're coming.
So when you see these judges trying to obstruct your efforts to make this country safer, what is your message to them?
We are going to prosecute you, and we are prosecuting you. I found out about this the day it happened. We could not believe, actually, that a judge really did that. We looked into the facts in great depth. That's her picture up on the screen, Hannah Dugan, who is now in custody. You cannot obstruct a criminal case.
In allegedly letting the perpetrator and the attorney out through a non-public exit and allowed them to get out in front of the building. And we all know that, while sometimes they can come off without incident, they can also turn into very dangerous situations.
John, that's exactly right. She put the lives of our law enforcement officers at risk. She put the lives of citizens at risk. A street chase, which is absurd that had to happen. But yes, she put a lot of people at danger.
And see, the reason why they're having to go after the judges criminally is the court system has been designed to make it next to impossible to remove corrupt judges. Take, for example, the federal judiciary system, where it takes presidential-style efforts to actually impeach a judge and remove them from the bench. This means that you need an impeachment vote in the Senate like they would with a president, which requires 2/3 majority vote to get rid of a judge. That means you need 67 votes in the Senate, which is essentially next to impossible thanks to the partisan nature of the House and the Senate. And so the Trump administration simply is moving the goalposts here. They're using the criminal behaviors of some of these judges to flip the script, to remove them by force. Can't really judge anything when they're behind bars. And the ingenious part of this plan was to set a trap for the Democrat Party to once again champion criminals, which only further serves to separate the Democrat Party from the American public, who will find this defense of criminal behavior repulsive. Ironically, too, it wasn't that long ago that the Democrat Party, in their vendetta to get Orange Man bad, were sounding off like there was no tomorrow about how no one is above the law, except for apparently illegal aliens and the corrupt judges that keep them here.
The idea that no person is above the law is a bedrock principle of American justice.
No man is above the law, no matter what the crime.
And I agree with you. No man is above the law, and no person is above the law.
No one is above the law.
No one is above the law.
No one's above the law.
No one is above the law.
Now, what is clear to me is that these judges broke the law, allegedly. It is obvious for anyone who wants to really see what's happening here. And by using these judges' criminal behavior against them, it is furthering the Trump administration's attempt at winning hearts and minds over whether or not the judicial system itself is full of activist judges, and that they are the real threat against America, not Donald Trump. And by the way, I think this is why they waited so long to pull the trigger. They waited until finally the Alien Enemies Act was enabled and being undermined by corrupt judges like Judge Boasberg. And by waiting for this time, they allowed the American people to see how frightfully dangerous it was to having judges usurp presidential authority, especially when it comes to the defense of this country. And when you consider that the American people have finally understood this threat that illegal aliens are presenting to them and how rampant it is in this country, the mood of the public has shifted fully against illegal aliens. The American people want them gone. And so by seeing these corrupt judges fight tooth and nail to keep them here, it is revealing to the American public just how corrupt the courts are becoming. And so the Trump administration choosing this moment, this exact time to begin executing their actions against the criminal judges is perfection. They could have done this weeks ago. But by waiting until now, when battle lines have been fully drawn and the public is aware of the court corruption, it is drawing the entire country's eyes back into focus on just how brazenly corrupt and dangerous these judges have become. And by the media fighting tooth and nail to defend these obvious criminal activities from these judges, it is only furthering to expose their own propaganda, their own agenda. It is self-inflicted here that the media and the radical left is exposing themselves to most normal, average American citizens into seeing the truth, that the left and the judiciary system itself has become fully compromised. It amazes me just how easily the left walked into the trap set by Donald Trump. They did it with open arms. Simply amazing.